don't get this. But I'm gonna have to do with my own identity and other people's identity. Sorry, I have the camera off because I'm eating a burger and I'm nowhere near ready or caring to be ready. Bella, please wait. I'll give you an egg. So, I only hear, the experience of Black people varying when it comes to racial identity. You have the dark-skinned Black people who think somehow they're 100% Black, even though it's quite obvious they come from the same people who they claim are 25% Black or mixed. And then you have the other people who are always called other races because they are, mixed. But they're the same as the Black Americans who are dark-skinned. Then you get the people who are like biracial. And many of them will be like, I'm Black and I'm white. For a while, Black Americans were always like, no, you gotta identify as Black. And they would go to such large lengths to prove people were Black. Because they were half Black. My personal experience is like none of these people. One small bit, even. Like, I only get two things. One, when, I was raised to believe I was Black. Just Black. I was raised to think I was 100% Black. But Mom always was like, well, at one point, my mom said when I was 6 that my dad's mom looked like she had something else in her. Which makes sense. The lady was white passing. She could not, be in denial about it at that point. Well, but generally from my knowledge, I thought it was like at least like 80-90% Black. But I grew up with two things. Black people who were nicer to me and were okay with me as long as they thought I wasn't like them. The moment they thought I was like them, then they got all angry and started acting like, oh, you must want to be that like them or something like that. Like, I guess I was trying to be white or something. It was weird because, like, I still look like how I look, Which, in my opinion, is very Black looking. I've seen plenty of Ethiopians who look lighter than me, look more, I guess not typically Black. That's me. I don't know, to me it was just like, I never understood why people were hostile. And I never understood why people thought I looked mixed. Because that's what it would be like. One where they're like, oh, you're trying to look like them. And then the other one would be like, oh, you are mixed, And from my point of view, it's always like, why can't I be accepted just like some Gabrielle Union, Anytime I saw a Black girl that looked like a Gabrielle Union, she was accepted. They were fine with her. They just treated her like a Black woman. They were going to be negative towards her. They were going to be negative towards her for being a Black woman. Which, people, their kids, like, Black people are prepared, if you come from a Black supremacist family, for racism. But we're not prepared for people to attack you and say you're mixed with white, you're doing things or whatever, and all this hogwash, basically. So I would have been prepared totally for some kind of anti-black behavior. But no, I didn't get that. And then I decided, because when I was 19, I asked, because I was confused, because when I was 18, people were acting weird. So I asked my aunt, and they said that my grandma was mixed, and that they didn't know what my grandpa was. So I asked him, and he was mixed. So then after that point, I took the DNA test to figure out my ethnicity. When it came back, I was like, it came back less black than I expected. I've always had, I'm like, I was 52% black then, but with all the updates, I'm like 53% black. And most of the rest is like white and Native American. And even after that, I don't know, I've never really identified with the white side because it's like I don't really have any connection. But when people say you're trying to be white or whatever, now that I think this, like, now, if I'm literally mixed with black and white, then why should I reject the white side? I mean, I'm almost half white and Native American. People who are black American, I don't understand. Why do we always have to try and reject the white side when it's like 25% white? That's a whole grandparent. Some people act like being 25% something else is mixed anyway. So, I mean, if that's mixed, then our whole community is mixed, one. And then two, how are we supposed to try and reject people who are mixed when we are mixed ourselves? There's no black American who's fully black. There are no black Americans who are 100% black. They're just dark skinned. They're not full-blooded black. And an Indian can be dark skinned. Does that mean they're black? No. So that's what I don't get about the whole racial construction. Like, so many of the time, people like to leave out certain people and put people in, depending on whatever strategic thing they're doing, rather than actual facts. Like, I've never been told by a black person, for example, that I was half whatever. That means I'm half that, and I'm not really black. But I'll be told that I'm trying to be something I am